My friends, Trump has already started to take action in the Ramagem case. We now have the director of what's called ICE, who ordered Ramagem's arrest. See, there it is. He took off. We used to warn, we talked about it here, based on the information, the great, precise information from Paulo Figueiredo, Eduardinho Bolsonaro, and Alan dos Santos, because that's what happened. Ramagem, his case, caused a total stir within the American government. It was exposed. To Trump, not all members of the ICE police force are trustworthy. I'll show you everything here. Hit the like button, come join our family, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave your comments. Things started to get heated. Polino brought this information today. The director of ICE, the same agency that detained Ramagem, resigned. Here is the information from Fox News, which reports the resignation of this agent. Take a look. Yes. ICE, I think things started to turn around, right? The head of ICE, responsible for cracking down on immigrants, resigned from his position. It was a firing, okay? The agency is responsible for carrying out the mass deportation policy targeting immigrants, as determined by President Trump. It's here in Estadão. It's interesting to observe. The words of these perverse people on Globo have aged well. This young woman was here. It's not that Ramagem is a nobody. Ramagem is the exponent of Bolsonarism. He thought he was safe in the United States of Bolsonarism.
They always sought the support and protection of Donald Trump's government. Several names, we remember that Carla Zambelli herself went to the United States. Later, because she had an Italian passport, she went to Italy thinking she would be protected. Ramagem became a federal deputy while still in the US and sought political asylum there.
My dear, let me explain to you. Carla Zambelli was extremely hasty. If she had stayed there in the United States, I don't know what was going through Carla's mind. If she had stayed there in the United States, she would be using social media. Today, free and easy, calm. But
including him, who holds very sensitive information about Brazilian intelligence, his family is also in the United States. So this means that if he is deported from now on, if this process really moves forward. And ICE is, of course, the group within this American police force that works for this to catch those who are in the country illegally in the United States and send them back to their countries. If he's deported, his conviction in Brazil can help the process, which is what the federal police has focused on. This was discussed within the group in conversations between Lula and Trump, and within the group from Brazil's foreign ministry working with the Secretary of State. Thank you.
notice how things are. These journalists who call themselves media professionals, I've had my diploma for more than 20 years. The same piece of paper I have is the same paper that this lady, that woman there has. They're considered the top dogs. I never cared about any of that. For me, it doesn't make any difference. But look, those guys are on in prime time. They're on the biggest network in the country, on the TV screens of subscribers and all that. The audience is pathetic. Globo News has a 0.000 rating. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they still keep those journalists. It's to engage in political picketing, We here, with all humility, are also on TV. Half of our audience today, half of you who follow us, watches us on TV, and the other half watches us on cell phones, tablets, and other devices. You saw that now. I'm putting everything in 4K. I think it's better now. Just asking you if the image looks better, if it's the way you like it. Everything is in 4K now, so no one can complain. The sound improved. You saw that the sound got better and everything. And look, Many times, we manage to have a bigger audience than they do. A guy from the countryside who decided to take this journalism course. 4 years studying all kinds of further training and so on. We did that too, and so on. But often, a guy from the countryside has a larger audience than they do. That's it, not just me, several channels. Because people know that these guys, they act in favor of a regime, a tyrannical regime, that wants to enslave people. Today, Pinguiata was clear. I'll regulate everything and end it all because I want things to return to how they were. He insulted the children, saying they weren't human. Lula said that children weren't human beings. In his speech, children became human again. Pelego, what were they before?
Pelego.
He spoke clearly that children are no longer human beings. They became human beings again. They cover all of this up. They cover it up. There they are, embarrassing themselves. A country bumpkin many times here on YouTube gets more views, a bumpkin. But someone with the same piece of paper they have, which anyone can get. Oh, I know, no makeup, nothing fancy. All I do is put some gel in my hair, because I like it like this. My boy likes it too. He says it's like Sonic style and all. So, just a simple shirt, nothing like a suit and tie. No suit and tie. Honestly, I can't stand suits and ties. There you go. Lying to Lavonte, embarrassing themselves. Look here. Timeline, right? That big news site by Allen brought it up. The acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Chic, right? I'm learning from Geyer. Todd Lyons announced that he will step down from leading the agency, according to information confirmed by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the U.S. government, Lyons will remain until May, when he is expected to officially step down. The decision was not presented as an immediate one, but rather as a transition. After leaving the position, he will move to the private sector. Trump retired him. This guy here, sometimes he wasn't even at fault, right? But the men he commands were. Look at that. ICE just now, after they got scolded by Trump, that scolding from Trump. That exposed the federal police's version. Immigration and Customs Enforcement informed the federal police that the director of the Brazilian intelligence agency, Alexandre Ramalho, I call him director because he will be eternal. We no longer have people of Ramagem's caliber in these institutions. He can remain free in the United States while his political asylum request is decided. Everything's beautiful and fine. Federal police said they're taking action and had a meeting there yesterday. He must have gotten chewed out there and all. He said like, look, the big boss here. The big boss? He's watching you all now, okay? After everything you guys did. He beat them up, look at that. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement told the federal police that Ramagem will be allowed to remain free in the United States. And now they've given the United States plenty of reasons. For sure. Of course, right? They granted him asylum. That's why we feel sad, right? For Carla Zambelli. If only she had gone to the United States. None of this would have happened to her, right? She's in a situation just like Ramagem's. Look at that. The meeting, look, federal police contacts said that the IC's message was passed on at a meeting yesterday, the one I mentioned. That meeting was already scheduled even before Ramagem was released. They already had everything planned already. They were either going to put Ramagem on a quick flight here, or, if not, take him to the Brazilian embassy. So, the United States couldn't do anything. They were doing everything in a rush. His name was no longer on the detention centers list, nor in the United States immigration system. The federal government's expectation was that Ramagem would remain in custody during the negotiations about a possible transfer to Brazil, since they say he acted from Brazil. The federal police received a report. It was a report. I thought he'd stay in custody there, and we'd get him as soon as he's released. They said he's cleared and can be picked up. They were going to pick him up immediately, put him in a vehicle there in the United States, put him on a plane as quickly as possible, because they do that fast, and release him here in Brazil. And then it was the biggest defeat for the federal police. Guys, it's unfortunate what the federal police has become. It's unfortunate. Here's some behind-the-scenes information. Look, right? That Rodrigo Constantino, who also lives in the United States, ended up posting here. Want to see? I'll get it here so we can take a look, right? Rodrigo just posted it recently. Let's check it out. So here, look. Since Ramagem denied the claim that it was a traffic violation that led him to ICE, the question remains open. So why did he end up in ICE custody then? And it seems that the only possible answer is that someone reported him, falsely claiming that his immigration status was irregular. Who could have done that, right? Well, the federal police's henchmen and Moraes' henchmen. Those who go around in plain clothes in another country, right? That's what Andre Rodriguez called cooperation with ICE, right? That's right. The henchmen, right? Jagun. That's what I say, right, man? Sometimes we even feel a bit, but it has to be said. Yeah. Under this dysfunctional government, the federal police have already come. Someone communicated it to the authorities. Spoken, what needs to be said, what I need to say. Yeah, they're committing all kinds of barbarities. Actually, look, it's going to take a long time. The federal publicity, because this will end one day, it will end, but it will take many years. Many years for the federal police to return. And I think it's a matter of prophecy. A lot of change, a lot of change, a lot. And I don't even know. For example, if I'll be alive to see the federal police manage to recover, I say not even half will be recovered. I think I'll be with the good Lord, if He allows it. And the federal police still won't be able to recover the credibility and the affection they once had from Brazilian society. A lot will need to change, because after all that happened, man, look, it's sad. Really sad, but there it is, the director, boom, took off. Just imagine the mess that's going on behind the scenes, huh? Share this video on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, like it, and subscribe to join our family by subscribing here to the Poesifilos channel, Fabiano Gigay. I'll return soon with more news.